Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain a very important and a very interesting topic, which is comic elements in Hamlet. اسمي دعاء قديح and this is from Shakespeare course. So Hamlet, if as we know or if you don't know, is one of the most famous tragic play by Shakespeare. And we have in this play the protagonist, Hamlet. He is the prince of Denmark. Hamlet is one of the most remarkable tragic characters in all literature. He is filled with passion and contradiction, and in this presentation we will see how Hamlet's terrible mind demonstrates of an acceptance of life despite the existence of a human evil. And also we will see how Hamlet himself represents the dual nature of humankind. So let's start. The question now: what does distinguish Hamlet from other tragic characters? What does distinguish Hamlet from other Shakespearean tragic characters? So actually, since we know that Hamlet is a highly educated man, he's a university, he's a student. So he is supposed to be clever, he's supposed to be intelligent, and using a lot of literary devices, using a lot of metaphors in his speeches. So Hamlet's wit and humor makes him different from other tragic characters. That makes us rethink of Shakespearean tragic plays in unfamiliar way. So what we are going to explain in this presentation is the comic reliefs. So comic relief is literary device used in plays and novels to introduce light entertainment between tragic scenes. It may be a humor incidents, funny incidents, and tricky remark of a laughing commentary. Of course, everything for a purpose. So, what is the purpose of this comic relief? We have so many purposes. One of the most important purposes is that since it's a tragic play and it's supposed to be full of sorrows, sufferings, sadness, it was important to have some funniest sides. It was important to light the dark nature of the play. So this kind of comic reliefs entertain the audience. It makes them laugh after a long journey of sadness and sufferings. Another important purposes of this comic relief is that to show the relationship between the characters and in some way reduce the tension between the characters when it becomes unbearable. So let's have some examples of comic reliefs in Hamlet. Not all examples, but some to concentrate on the idea of comic reliefs. The first scene in Act 1, Scene 2, it was the first time that Hamlet speaks. And as we know that Hamlet is questioning the hasty marriage of his mother and his uncle illegally within a month after the death of his father. This scene shows the relationship between Hamlet and his uncle, and Hamlet and his mother. And Hamlet's words express a lot of his anger, a lot of his sadness. So the king addressed Hamlet as my cousin, Hamlet, and my son. And of course Hamlet replied, a little more than kin and less than kind. So son may have two possible meanings. The first one, that Hamlet is the son of his mother and the son of his father, the old Hamlet, of course, and the stepson of his uncle. And also, it may be an allegory, the son, which is an allegory of the bad situation that Hamlet is in. And also that, so it's like there is there's some tension between Hamlet and his uncle, okay? And then we have the relationship between Hamlet and his mother, and he expresses a lot of his anger by using a very tough words when speaking to her. And actually, he wants to make her realize that he has shamed him and shamed the memory of his father. And Hamlet's language is insulting both the king and the queen, but they are both do not but they do not understand this insulting. And this is kind a part of a dramatic irony when the audience knows more about the intention and the intention of the speakers or of the characters than the characters themselves. Another important scene, another important comic relief is Hamlet's language. Hamlet swears with Polonius, and as we know that Polonius is Ophelia's father. Who is Ophelia? Ophelia, his Hamlet's love. Hamlet keeps insulting him by saying that you are a fishmonger. And actually, Polonius does not understand this insulting. And the intention of Hamlet in this scene is to make Polonius questioning Hamlet's madness. Okay, and this is the purpose of this scene. Hamlet is insulting Polonius to make him question Hamlet's madness, to go back to the queen and the king and says that Hamlet is Hamlet. Hamlet is mad. And then we have the nunnery scene. So in this scene, Hamlet is broken by the appearance of Ophelia, and actually Ophelia was happy to see him. And we can assume that she would prefer to talk to him in private, but she knows that they are being observed, and her nature does not allow her to disobey his fathers. And in this scene, he broke the relationship with Hamlet and returned all gifts to him. And it's a very heartbreaking scene, and Hamlet wishes to her um, um, a bad life, and he says that get thee to a nunnery, go farewell. This scene is a dramatic irony. We know that Ophelia wants to say a lot to Hamlet, and he is very happy to see him, but she was forced to say that or to return all gifts to Hamlet. And we have the final slice, which is the humor in the grave digger scene, and this is this scene in Act 5, Scene 1, when Ophelia died, and the grave digger says that they are accusing the water for the death of man, not the fate. This comic relief provide the audience a chance to smile after going through journey of sorrows and sadness and sufferings. The clowdish grave diggers in this scene are talking about the drowning of Ophelia and accusing the water of this death. And this is shows some kind of comedy. That is my presentation for today. Thank you for listening.